My name is Rodney Pool. We moved to Conroe from Houston in 1981. I worked for Mitchell Energy, and when George Mitchell moved his corporation from Houston to the Woodlands, and we elected to move to Conroe. In 1981, the Woodlands was just a gleam, but there was some effort going on. My wife wanted to start a flower shop in Houston when we were there, so she decided to hold off on it until we got into Conroe, got settled, and she started a flower shop called Conroe Florist. And the reason I mention that is because that got us involved in the downtown stuff. Our first flower shop was in a building downtown. It was an old warehouse building. It's been since gone, and it was a Moran gas warehouse. We were downtown for a number of years. I was still working for Mitchell while Joyce was running the flower shop. But through that, we got involved in the chamber. We got involved with downtown. We became active in the Cajun Catfish Festival and you know, the organizations that supported that. Also became involved with the city, what the city was doing. At that time, our downtown area was pretty much boarded up. There were a couple of things. There was the theater. There was one theater, the Crichton Theater, and it was our nightlife. What little we had. We had no active pubs, or as a matter of fact, the south side of downtown was dried, so we had we had that to deal with. But through all of that, we became involved in some movement to try to create nightlife in the downtown area, and there was several studies done. The city helped with that. The city hired a company to come in and do a study on what needed to be done to help get the revitalization project going. That study was completed, and I think that was about maybe middle 90s, maybe 93, and much of that included street improvement, street lights, pavement, infrastructure type stuff. And the city has done almost all of that. But once that was done, we knew that we had to look at the economic side of things. I mean, it started looking pretty, the street lights were there, the pavements was done. So we began another study, the city did, through the chamber, that focused on what kind of businesses and what kind of, what we needed to do to try to attract those businesses. That study was done, and most of that has been accomplished. Recently, the city, a couple of years ago, did another study on most of the recommendations coming out. The first two studies were done, and we need to, you know, upgrade that. So the study was done there. Some of the things that we accomplished during those years were the city bought the Owen Theater, bought that property and put in another theater, which now we have 2 live theaters, which very few cities that I know of have that capability to do 2 live. We got the liquor law passed to where we could now go after restaurants, pubs, those sorts of things. So me and my wife became interested in purchasing property in the downtown area, and there were some buildings that were pretty much boarded up. So we began purchasing property. We bought the building next to the Crichton Theater. We bought that building and began refurbishing it. Got retail to come in, and over a couple of years we got that done. Then we bought the building where our pub's at, It's a two-story building. It was pretty much boarded up, and we did the same thing with it. We also wanted to do, one of the early recommendations was to have a downtown pub. So we said, well, yeah, that sounds like something we should do. So, not know anything about the pub business, but we did contact our daughter, our oldest daughter, who was working in Germany, who has a degree in hospitality from the University of Houston. She's been in the restaurant, entertainment, hospitality business all her life. So we did contact her, tell her we were thinking about opening a downtown pub, and would she be interested in coming and running it for us. And she thought about it. She called and said, yeah, I'd be interested in doing that. So that kind of got us into the pub business. We wanted to focus on live music, which we had a passion for, Joyce and I both. My whole family has a passion for live music. None of us can play an instrument, but we just had a passion for it. So, you know, working with J. Ross Martin and some of the early pioneers, if you didn't have a love for music, you know, that was their kind of driver. You know, that was what drove them, was a love for music. So we kind of inherited that from Jay and Leo and Charles Tullis and a lot of the early pioneers. And so we just decided that our pub was going to be, rather than just a sports bar, or that our pub would be more music oriented, and we would like to become the Mucky Duck of Conroe, and present live music. So we took that approach to it. Through all of that, we began to develop good relationships and a family of people that began to follow us as a downtown pub, musicians and bands, and began to build up a strong relationship with that industry. And so that kind of got us into the music side, and from there we've gone into festivals, and as the pub grows, we have tried to promote Conroe as a destination, a music destination, hoping that eventually we would become another Austin city limits maybe. But that was kind of our early vision, early dream, and so we're still working toward that end. Out of that came Red Brick Tavern and Pacific Yard House. We got 3 or 4 venues now that are doing live music, and so when you put all that together, we made great progress, I think, and you know, we are getting state notoriety of if you want to hear good music, you can go spend the weekend in Conroe, and you have a lot of options. We're nowhere near what we would like to be. We got a lot more work to do, but that's kind of the history of how I got involved and my family got involved in Conroe. Now it's along there somewhere, I think it was early 2000, we bought the old hotel. The hotel's built in 1934, the Knox Hotel, and we refurbished that, and we now have residential plus our own place. That's where we live, which is 2 blocks away, and we have eight residential lofts, and then we have retail on the bottom. So that's kind of the personal aspects of things. With the current our current situation, we were asked to close through this virus, to battle this virus deal that we're in, and so we're effective when the county set out the rules, then we shut down. We tried keeping our deli open for carry out. We tried that for last week, and we just decided that it really wasn't worth it to us to keep the deli open. So we're going to take advantage of this and do house cleaning. We need a lot of we need a lot of love and care. We've had the pub now for 16 years, and so this will give us an opportunity to redo the flooring and just do some repairs that that we needed to do anyway. So, you know, we're looking forward to what the government comes out with as, you know, to how we can keep our employees. We've got 3 employees, full-time employees working for us that we had to let go. And so we're hoping that, you know, we can use some of these incentives to be able to keep our employees, keep them employed, so when things get better, then we'll be, you know, we'll be in a position to open back up and continue business as usual. So that's kind of where we are. That's kind of give you a background to where we came from. We love the music. We're still, through all of that, Joyce and I both have been involved in many startups of Conroe Live. We were involved in that. Our Merchants Association, we were involved in, and you know, we're the original founders of that. I served as a chairman of the Catfish Festival for 2 years, serving on that. We did the Americana Music Festival. Our goal is still to create Conroe as a music destination. So that's my background, and that's kind of where we are.